What would your life look like if you measured it only against who you were last year? Not against your college roommate's LinkedIn, not against whoever you followed at 2 a.m. when you couldn't sleep. Just you, 12 months ago, standing in the same kitchen with the same quiet unease you have right now. There's a specific feeling that comes with a certain kind of birthday or a new year, or even just a Sunday evening where you look around and think, I should be further along. I don't know where I heard that, but I believe it like a law. Somewhere there's a version of this I read about recently from a tradition old enough to have no algorithm, no feed, no comparison engine. And it changed how I understand the whole thing, if that landed, follow. Not for the algorithm, it tells me who actually needs this, and I make more of what you stay for. This channel exists for people at turning point, the ones doing the quiet, unglamorous work of figuring out who they are when the old version stops fitting. That's the whole thing here. Here's the version nobody says out loud. You're not failing, you're watching. You're watching other people arrive somewhere, and you're running the numbers on yourself in real time, and the numbers keep coming back wrong. It's 11 p.m. You're on your phone. Someone posts about a promotion, a move to a new city, a relationship that looks like the one you thought you'd have by now, and you don't even dislike them. That's the strange part. You feel something closer to a quiet collapse, like a door closing in a room you didn't know you wanted to enter. The hidden cost isn't the envy. Everyone knows about the envy. The hidden cost is what it does to your sense of time. It convinces you that time is a race you're already losing, that there's a correct pace, that the people ahead of you on the feed are somehow living the right version of the same life you're supposed to be living. And so you speed up, you take on more, you try to compress the distance between where you are and where you think you should be. And then the strange thing happens. The faster you move, the less you feel like you're moving at all. You're doing more, accumulating more events, more experiences, technically more life, and somehow arriving at less of it. But here is what most people miss about this. The problem was never the pace. The problem was the measuring stick. There is a Japanese concept called Oubaitori. You won't find it trending. It doesn't come with a productivity hack attached. The word is built from the kanji for 4 trees: the cherry, the plum, the peach, and the apricot. Each one blooms. Each one blooms beautifully, and each one blooms at a completely different time. The cherry doesn't wait for the plum to finish. The apricot doesn't rush because the cherry went first. There is no scoreboard. There is no correct season. The tree that blooms in March is not ahead of the one that blooms in May. They are simply different trees, answering to different clocks, none of which is wrong. Oubaitori was never meant to be a motivational poster. It came from a culture that observed nature closely enough to notice that variance is not failure. That difference in timing is not a deficiency in the slower one. The cherry is not the standard, it is simply the cherry. What this concept does, quietly and without drama, is dismantle the entire premise of comparison. Because comparison only works if everyone is supposed to bloom at the same moment. If the timeline is the same for everyone, if arriving later means arriving wrong, and it doesn't, it never did. The person you're comparing yourself to is a different tree in a different season. Their bloom is not your deadline. Their timing is not your evidence. This is not a comfort you're supposed to consume and forget. It is a reorientation. The question stops being, why haven't I bloomed yet? And becomes, what is my actual season and am I in it? One sentence, because this needs to land like what it is. You are not behind, you are just not a cherry. Hartmut Rosa is a German sociologist and philosopher who spent years trying to answer a specific question. Why does modern life feel like running on a treadmill that keeps accelerating? His answer, built across years of research, is a theory called social acceleration. Rosa identified 3 layers of acceleration happening at once. Technology speeds up so we can do more faster. Social structures change faster, so the things we built our identities around, careers, relationships, values, shift before we can settle into them. And the pace of everyday life intensifies, so we have more to do in every hour than the hour can hold. These 3 feed each other, each one makes the others faster. The result, Rosa argues, is not just exhaustion, it is a specific kind of alienation from time itself. When acceleration outpaces our ability to process experience, we stop having experiences, we have events. Things happen to us, around us, we document them, we move on, but nothing settles. Nothing becomes part of us. We arrive nowhere because nowhere stays still long enough to arrive at. His antidote is what he calls resonance. Not slowness, not productivity hacks, not a digital detox weekend. Resonance is genuine contact with something that reaches you and changes you. A piece of music that stops you mid-task, a conversation that alters how you see the week, a landscape that makes you forget to check your phone. You cannot schedule resonance. You cannot optimize your way to it. It requires you to release control long enough for something to actually touch you. And here is where Rosa and Oubaitori meet. Across centuries and continents, saying the same thing from different directions. The compulsion to control the pace, to measure the distance, to arrive on schedule is precisely what makes you miss the only thing that was ever worth arriving at. This week, try these 3 things, not as transformation, as small experiments. 1. This week, write for 10 minutes about one thing you did in the last 12 months that you haven't given yourself credit for. Not a milestone, a shift, something you handle differently now. This is your actual measure. 2. This week, set a timer for 20 minutes and do one thing with no output. Read something with no application. Sit somewhere with no phone. Cook without a podcast. This is what Rosa means by creating conditions for resonance. You are not wasting time. You are making room for something to land. 3. This week, when you feel the comparison reflex fire, write down the name of the person you're comparing yourself to and ask one question. What season are they in? Then ask it about yourself. You don't have to answer. Just ask. Oubaitori is not a conclusion. It's a practice of noticing. Here is the deeper question this whole video has been circling. What if the version of you that feels behind is working from a map that was never yours, not as a philosophy, as a Tuesday morning practice? What if, when the feed opens and the numbers run, you paused long enough to ask, whose clock is this? What if behind turned out to be a story borrowed from someone else's season, someone else's tree? What would change is not your circumstances. What would change is your relationship to them. And sometimes that is the whole difference between a life you're running through and a life you're actually in. You are not behind. You are in your season, even when it doesn't look like anyone else's. If this is the kind of thing you needed tonight, follow and save this. Share it with someone carrying this quietly. The person who wouldn't say it out loud, but would recognize every word. More of this is coming for the people who stay.